Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuning in from. I'm Stef Pazzo. Thanks for joining us here on Best Perspective alongside Mr. Noah Brinkworth, as per usual. And we're back after a very busy summer. Noah, it's been a busy one. It's kind of all, we're amidst all the big ones right now, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we've both had a crazy summer of traveling, going out to the World Championships. I mean, I barely got back in time for UCF. I'm thinking you the same because you spent a lot of time out there in Oz. We had an amazing time at UCF and at Worlds, but we'll chat more about that at the end. Right now, we're going to look forward to the World Beach Ultimate Championships, Club
The
Championships. Sorry,
Club
Steph.
championships. It is the first of its kind. We've had World Beach Ultimate Championships before. National teams playing on the beach. We've had European Beach Club Championships before, but this is the first that it's a Champions League for beach club teams, and it's very exciting. There's almost 120 teams. I think 118, three divisions. Mixed is the most populated, and it's all going down on the Algarve in the wonderful city of Portimao. I can't tell you how amazing it is. It is to be in that place. The food, the vibe, the weather, the sand, it's all amazing. And we're both going to be there. Noah will actually be there for the second part of the series, and I'll be there from the beginning. But I think we should probably just crack into this one and talk about how it's going to go down. But I'll preempt it and say it is going to be an ULTI.TV production, so everything will be live and free online. Catch it on ULTI.TV YouTube. And yeah, I think with that said, we can probably crack into this division by division and I don't know, maybe give our favorites. It's tough. I don't have rosters yet. So it's kind of a guess and a hearsay and what do we know about people talking about their teams and their stackings. So shall we start with the mixed division, Noah?
Yeah,
The biggest division. By
biggest
far the
division,
biggest.
54 teams in the mixed division. That's even more than like world club stuff. Like this is a absolutely enormous division. My eyes go straight to Gaiota, who have incredible beach pedigree in general, the Spaniards, but perhaps particularly Gaiota have been particularly successful in these Bula European beach events at the World Beach Championships. Um, this time they're entering teams in the open and mixed division, so I don't know where the top of the male matching players are gonna land there.
You
But
gotta think mixed. You gotta think mixed.
you got to think
But you're
mixed, but
right.
also they're quite flat. Like their 10th best player in Gaiota is a pretty good player. Like, and it seems to be a team that succeeds more on system than on individual players being fantastic. So yeah, they could be really good. Another team that strikes out, Pie Wagon, coming back. They played at the World Masters, came over to Ireland for that 2 years ago. A fun team coming over from Australia. That's pretty cool. But
It's an
maybe
old
not.
John Greenfield founded that team out of Newcastle, the Nova Castrians. They will, again, there's some great players over there in Newcastle. I would love to see that they're all on this roster and they brought over a super strong team. But a big travel will sometimes thin out a strong beach club. But they are the only Aussie team in the mixed division, maybe the whole tournament. So looking forward to see what they're bringing.
Then we're looking at some like e-buck returners from the final. Margarita Mix from Ireland. That was very much a pickup all-star kind of team last year. Ufa from Portugal. They also had some big pickups last year. Andrew Roy from DC. Nikki Prian of German national team fame. They should be good if they get a similar mixed. And SoCal, right? I don't know exactly who's going to be on that roster, but if it's the kind of talent we see from the Condors, from Revolver, Flipside, Fury, that's an area of the world which is rich in ultimate talent stuff. So
Yeah, you don't forget when you talk about UFA, don't forget the man I call the king of the beach, Pedro Vargas.
oh,
He is the captain of that team. He's always a dominant player. He's aging. I can say that because I'm a little bit older than him, but he's getting old, but he has not lost a step. The man is absolutely ripped and just glides over the sand, but an exceptional captain who really gets buy-in from his whole team. So you add that to UFA. You talked about Margarita Mix. I know that they have one particular pickup that they didn't have last time, and that's our next guest coming up on this show, Aurora Lesnik, who has just gone over to Toronto You're going to find out about this more on her interview, but she will definitely be there. And that team, they've lost some, gained some. I know Levka's not there. Aurora is there. Sam Murphy and Melvin aren't there. So they've shaken things up a bit. Will they be able to kind of keep that pickup lightning in a bottle that they struck last time in Royan? Can they do it again? It's a lot tougher with a pickup team than like, say, Guayota. You know who else jumps off for me is Boracay. The Boracay Dragons.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Were
That's
the very
sick.
first like top beach club in the world. I went to the very first Boracay beach tournament back in 2002 when they were just a dragon boating team that somebody, I think Jason Lopez, had gone over there and started teaching a little bit of ultimate, him and others. It was not him exclusively. Anyhow, they won this first tournament with some very strong teams there just because they could move on the sand so well. Same thing. If they are bringing a top team, and I know Jason Lopez didn't make that team, and he's very good. So this is a team that I would never, expect not to win. American teams, you said SoCal, not Suo. Well, they won the Great Grand Masters Championship last year, but they probably have the youth too. This is a Sean McCall-led team, one of the best Americans to ever do it. He's a absolute veteran now. I don't know if he's on this open team. He's definitely on the Great Grand Masters version. He's probably good enough to be on both.
This is a mixed team, right?
Yeah, this is a mixed team. Not Suo is Houston spelt backwards.
Okay.
So this is a Texas team. And again, any U.S. team that's qualified through the U.S., I mean, they're the Yanks. They're, the top of the pyramid right now. So I'm never going to hold that. I got to assume they're both making quarters, even in a huge 54-team pool.
A couple more shout outs, not teams I necessarily think are going to win, but it's great to see the Ukraine mixed team representing again in the mixed division like they did last year at EBUC.
Yeah, we're going to get Cholkin. He'll show up. That guy's awesome. The Busy Bee with the influencer Instagram account.
And we've got Blackfish Ultimate from Kenya coming over. I think that's absolutely awesome to get another continent represented. It's really impressive.
RSA foam rollers from South Africa as well. You get some Singaporean teams. They're coming from all over.
There's a
Mexicans,
New Zealand team in
Austrians. We do have who are the Kiwis? Why don't I see it? Oh, they're there. Sea Dogs. All right, and one of my favorite names in the business, Scarillas, out of Switzerland. So
they actually just won mixed nationals there, right? They may not suck.
They may not suck. They'll be on the grass. Manchot there, who were super hot last year. The French, do you Frisbee? Do they have the Forges? Do they do they could have the Bourneaus? They could have Simon Ruel. I don't know. Is Elliot Bonnet going to show up on the beach? Because we know that he pretty much, it was that whole French team, but he became the unstoppable force amidst it. If he interjects himself into a club team, he may be able to do the same.
Let's move over to the open division. I think it's so hard to guess who's going to win in all of these divisions, Steph, without the rosters, because it's just so random.
I bet you will have the rosters any minute now, to be honest, but we don't have them now, and we got to get this out. We need more best perspective. We got a great interview, as we said, coming up with Aurora. But here in the open division, well, we said Guayota. You started with that, saying they're in both. They could very well be good. It really depends on how they weighted the two teams. I hope they went all in on one team, and then the other one is the rest. I hope they did not go. Let's balance them all. I hope they're going for one title at least, all in. Who else jumps off the page for you?
Well, you've told me a couple things about Salaspils. There's sort of more classic European Open pedigree, like Jet Set, Gentle, Bristol Open, are all here. But also,
Jet Set very good in the sand lately, and I'm not sure if Mr. Demaray's there, but if he is, that makes them a deadly weapon for sure.
We got Quixotes as well, and they put out an impressive performance at EUCF, knocking off Clapham in the pool stages. They're also a Spanish team. You've got to give them the old Spanish boost for playing on the sand. Obviously, they're a
Mhm.
Madrid-based team, so how much beach ultimate they play, but it feels like you make this kind of thing, and then every Spanish team is like really good at beach. So I think that they're going to be a sweet team. UFO are going to be decent. There's a Ukraine Open team as well. I didn't know that. Vorai, they've got some big athletes in Lithuania, and they play some beach in
Vurai, the
Lithuania too.
Gauba brothers.
Yeah, they could be good. Steph, who do you think's winning this division?
So Salispil's the thing that I did tell you. The rumor mill is churning out is that Latvian papers have been handed over to Justin Ford and Ben Ort. They did play with Salispils, but those two played with Salispils 2 years ago in EBUCC, and they lost in the final to Fendisk and Itermendi, as we discussed prior. Hummel swag, I think it's actually Hummel swag. And you know I love a Wujin word fusion, putting two words together. Humility and swagger is Hummel swag. You don't have to use your ethos in your naming. It's a crap name, but they could be good. That was originally an Elliot Trotter and Tim Morrill team, if I'm
I
not
thought I
mistaken.
recognized that team name. They've won
And
haven't they won a
been off.
few
Yeah, they've
US
won.
nationals?
Yeah, they've been
US beach
awesome, and
nationals.
I imagine they will still be a team to watch. Again, the U.S. teams. Let's not look at Sundogs, the other U.S. team that I see on here. I wouldn't hold them up. Warao out of Venezuela have a long history of playing more so on the grass, but Venezuelans, why wouldn't they be good on the beach too? Magic Discs, or as Joe White calls them, Magic. Never mind, I won't tell you what Joe White calls them. But I'm sure you
But this is the
probably
old
got
Bonnet
there.
team, right? Bonnet's played for
Well,
Magic Disc before.
Bonet was RFO, and they are on there as
Mhm.
well in the mixed division. I think I saw RFO.
Oh, maybe I'm
But that's
thinking
who
of
he played
33
with.
Tour that he
Yeah,
played with
33
before.
Tour is the Bordeaux team that he played with in Royan 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. But yeah, I mean, maybe Stanguenek is there. Maybe I know Mathieu Beguen Demo is there. I think Ben Vignen might be there. Again, I'm speculating a little bit here, but we're going with what we got. The Portuguese too. Let's not forget that Discover Lisboa they've been very good on the beach before. I think they got second at mixed. And the other Spanish team, Murciélagos from Valencia, I think they've done very well in the lead up and have won a couple smaller tournaments. I know Ravi thinks his team's going to do well. UFO. I'm not buying it, Ravi. They won Burla. They won like the Italian kind of second tier tournament, but yeah, they're not. They're not. You're not making quarters, Ravi. I'm just throwing shade. It's easy to throw it at Ravi.
Before we get carried away throwing shade stuff, should we move over to the women's division? Is there a final
Hang on,
mention
then
you want
one
to do on
last
Open?
ampersand. That's got to be Philadelphia. Amp in sand. But another USA team, and they'll be angry because they just didn't qualify for US nationals. So maybe them. Okay, let's move over to the women's side of the things here.
I'm gonna start with some names.
So we'll start off with yep.
E6 from Sweden. They were the runner-up at the last European Beach Championships. They have a decent shot. No Gaiota, who are the winners, of course, only playing mixed and open. We've got a Salaspils team in the women's division. I don't know what sort of players they have on that team. If they have a Koblitza, but they could be a decent team. Tequila Elite, Tequila Boom Boom have been a solid team in the women's division as of
and
late.
They're very good on the beach too. If it is their elite, and we see La Fiata and La Gala on that roster, but I think La Gala's on Margarita Mixed. So that could change everything.
But
I think her and Rossi
Lafiata's
stay
pretty
over there.
legit. I haven't seen much of her this season. But
she will be there.
She's a great player.
Okay. I know she will be there.
Okay.
Because I tried to get her to commentate the tournament after, but she had to go back right away. But she was going to be there. So
couple American teams as well.
Yeah, there's 3 American teams I see. You got Black Widows, you got Florida Matching Players, FMP, and Sloppy Steaks. I can't like Florida. I can tell they're going to be Floridians.
There's Lamp from USA, which may be the field matching contingent of AMP.
Yeah, Lamp, Amp. I like ladies Amp. So
They had
Maria's from Portugal will be good. That is basically a Portuguese all-star team. They have played as a club all year. They have qualified as a club. They've been training for more than a year together. They are a legitimate club, but they have kind of basically what UFA didn't take from top end female talent in Portugal. Maria's took all the rest. And really, what, they lost 4 or 5 players, the Brinjels to UFA and, a couple others, but they don't have a exclusively Portuguese roster that does UFA, talking about mix again. Maria's exclusively Portuguese, kind of an all-star team. They should be a team to watch in this division.
If you had to pick your favorite, Steph, who do we think? Would you, if I could give you right now America versus the field, would you take America in this women's division?
Probably.
Would you take that proposition in all divisions, or
like Black Widow, Lamp, Florida matching players, and sloppy steaks? This division's what? Like 26, 27 deep. They got 5 U.S. teams. It almost represents 1/5. Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. As always, everybody will always be cheering for non-U.S. world champions. But because of how little I know, E6 could be good, should be good from Sweden. Is Eklund there? There's so many. Maria's could be good. Mighty Hawks could be good. Casayetas could be good.
What about Troubles? I mean, they've been consistently impressive.
They have
on the grass,
but again, is that Troubles team who? Okay, how do they convert to sand? Is the first question. But they go down to Groot tired. But you lose a game 15-1. Are you really going to beat a U.S. team in a game that matters? I'm not going to make that bet. I'll tell you that much. If it happens, I'd be all for it. I could see that they've found some form close to leading us to believe that, but nah, I ain't betting that much. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find the non-American team that I really believe in based on the field. Maybe Yaka. Maybe this E6 team is going to be pretty legit.
Maybe Valkyria, the other Swedish team, like that could be the Eklund team. Like, is Eklund and Holmlong on Valkyria? Like, they used to be. Maybe 2 Eklunds on that team. And Holmlong. Then you get Victoria Victorson. Was that the young one indoors?
From indoors, the double layout.
No, Velma Victorson. I forget her name, and I shouldn't because she is an absolute star. It really, we gotta get the distribution. So we've given everybody a good gauge of some of the team names that have some history or some potential for them. We're all gonna have to wait till we get there and start filming, streaming, and yammering on about who is actually on the field and how they're performing in just a couple days. Hopefully, by the time this one's getting to your eyes.
Steph, we're going to leave it there and we're going to go to our interview with Aurora Lesnik.
And now we have the one and only Aurora Lesnik joining us. You would think straight from Slovenia or maybe the Netherlands, but no. Right now she's in Toronto. How are you, Aurora?
I'm doing pretty good. The Belgian got the best of me, so I'm a little bit sick, as you might hear in my voice. But otherwise, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, good. Yeah. We will get into Belgium and all about it because we know some exciting things happen there for you. Actually, we'll get into it right away. You just won the European Club Championships with Groot. So we'll get into the details of it as we go. But how's it feel to be a European champion?
I mean, it kind of feels, I think for me it still feels surreal because, I don't know, we did expect to do good for sure because our team is good. But for me, I kind of had like no expectations, just do the best. But just to get that I wouldn't say easy way, but pretty simple way in. The finals was kind of unexpected for us, I think.
Yeah, you guys were totally dominant. I mean, your quarterfinal result was the one that jumped off the
Yeah, I
scorecard
don't know
for me.
what
I was like,
happened
what the
there.
hell's going on over there?
Yeah, I
But
don't think our opponents
yeah,
had the best game either.
you don't think what? No.
Yeah, our opponents, I don't think they had the best game either. Since we came in super fresh, like, and they had one game before, I think that was also a big thing.
Yeah,
But
they had a hard fight against Jet Set, just got through. You guys, of course, dominated the day before, so you get the morning bye.
yeah,
And then
super
absolutely destroyed them 14-0 until they got one on the board and then 15-1. So
nice.
at least they avoided the bagel, but it would have been nice, I guess, to get a bagel.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will talk more about that tournament, but I want to start with the beginning for you. When did you come from Slovenia? What city do you come from in Slovenia?
Oh well. I come from a city called Nova Gorica. No one knows it, but it's like, yeah, it's just on the border with Italy. So I have
Okay, near Trieste.
yeah, ish. It's like near to Gorica. That's why Nova Gorica means New Gorica. But yeah, it's like a small town. We have an ultimate frisbee team there, so I mostly played with them.
Is there ultimate in many Slovenian cities?
No.
Besides
When I started,
Nova
it was
Gorica,
more.
where else?
So we have obviously Maribor. So this was our strongest. And then yeah, the main city we have in Ljubljana, and we have like some spread out cities like Slovenska Bistrica. It's near Maribor now. It's the strongest. We used to have, yeah. I don't know if you know those cities. So
I've heard of most of them, but
yeah.
not all of them. Even Nova Gorica, I don't think I know. I think the only reason I can repeat it is because I recently went to Montenegro and they have Podgorica, and I only know the Gorica. I can put it together. Okay, so you grew up in Nova Gorica,
Yeah.
and one day a frisbee hit you in the head. How did you start playing?
Oh well, so I don't know. I used to also for a year or two. I was like training breakdancing, right? And then yeah, I was just like chilling, and someone who was also training there was, yo, you should try like this sport, ultimate frisbee. And I was like, nah, what the hell is this? So I was kind of in denial. But my friend was also playing, the other friend also breakdancing with me. So he was like, yeah, I'm gonna try. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And it was just like a throwing session, so I didn't want to do it. I did a few throws, and then next we had like an indoor practice. And then I tried it, and like I fell in love ever since. It was just so nice.
And so, how old were you at this stage when you were a little breaker?
This is hard. I try to think back on it, but I think it was in 2015. So I think I was 14 at that time. Yeah.
So yeah, it's still a pretty young start. You were a break dancer
for 2 years.
Do you say so? No, you don't break dance anymore.
I can do some tricks. I can do some party tricks.
So yeah. I'm ready. I want to see these tricks when we go to the beach in Lanzarote.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
And so, did this keep you when you were watching the Olympics and the whole ray gun thing broke out? Did you feel like you had a connection?
I did not watch that, but I saw her all over TikTok, so
yeah.
Definitely know her. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I can outperform her. But
yeah, I would. I think I would put my money on you. I would maybe even put money on myself to perform her. But
I'll put money on
let's
you.
not go too deep in that one. And so you started and you played this indoor game. You fell in love right away. What was the scene like there? Like, who were kind of the people in charge, or that were like captains of teams? Like, who was stirring the pot in Slovenian Nova Gorica Ultimate?
Well, it was so long ago. I don't remember. I just remember we played in the most shittiest indoor field. Like, you try to cut and then you just slide 3 meters away.
What was it? Even turf, or was it like
no?
Courts,
it was like
basketball court,
indoor basketball field.
Yeah.
So very European things. Yeah, there are a lot of. I mean, we're not a lot of people, but everyone that were there are still there now. so I still train with them like a few months ago. And yeah, they were just very welcoming with open hands. And usually, I think I was the only girl. There was like one girl as well. So I think, I don't know, I just like a rivalry and stuff like that. So I just
And
fell in love with that.
nice. And so, I mean, I know that you were on the national team by 2019. Did you play any like juniors? I'd imagine you had a pretty quick progression. Slovenia's got a small community, so if you wanted to play, I would imagine you made it
Yeah,
on teams. Did you play on a national team before
yeah.
2019?
So I don't think I was even training for like 1 year. And I got in World Junior Championship in 2016 as a national team. We were super good, you can imagine. No.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know.
no,
Okay,
no.
good to
But
clarify.
I think it was like one of the best.
Where was that Worlds in 2016? World
In
Juniors.
Wrocław, I think, in
Ah,
Poland.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was like the most amazing experience I've been in, and it was like, I don't know. I've watched some juniors, but these juniors were really like all the nationalities you can imagine. It was only open women, and like since then I just fell in love with Frisbee because I just had like a lot of input from the community. I met a lot of people and stuff like that. So from then it was just like, wow, I love this sport. And
And
then
was that
yeah.
the first international tournament? Is that the first time you left Slovenia to play, or did you maybe play some
No,
Eastern European tournaments?
I left before to like Milano to like a lower 2 day party tournaments, but
Okay.
never to like a professional ones. No.
Yeah. Okay. I interrupted you there. Do you remember what you were saying, or
No, I was just
okay?
continuing my international story, but
Yeah, but keep going. Keep. I'm
okay.
sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
2017 again, youth championships in Vennendal. I don't know where we finished, but and then 2019 I had youth championships and EUC. So that
And
was
EUC. So that was you were a senior
yeah.
by that stage. How you like? Were you what? 17, 18,
Yeah,
19?
18, let's say.
18.
Yeah.
And so, like, by this stage, you're probably the best player in Slovenia already. I mean, I was commentating that tournament,
I
and
remember you.
you're for sure the only Slovenian name. Sorry, Slovenian Ultimate, but the only Slovenian name that I still remember
Shout
from
out.
that tournament.
Yeah.
But I mean, for you, like, by this stage, you clearly realized that could very much contribute. You're one of the best players in the country. Like, yeah, I don't know. Talk about like getting good quick in kind of a small community and how that goes for you. How that felt.
Oh, good question. Well, I don't actually know. No, actually, I think when my team was mainly based on like when I was playing, it was either it was very loose mixed or it's open. So I basically train with men all the time. So I think that complemented my growth a lot. And then I have this one guy, Andre, shout out. He was also very passionate about ultimate and disc golf, and he really learned me a lot. So he was like a mentor throughout my whole journey. And we just trained one on one a lot with fitness and throws and conditioning. So I think those two factors, and then I just got a lot of reps in with a lot of tournaments. I just went everywhere, like internationally, let's say like Austria, Italy, or everything that was around. So I think just getting the reps in also helped me a lot just to build myself.
Nice. You're obviously very athletic player. What I mean, it might just be genetic, but what sports did you play besides breakdancing before before you got into ultimate?
Well, no, I don't think it was very athletic and I mean explosive sports. I climbed for like 7 years. I did some cross country running when I was very little, but that's basically it. But
So
I
this
also
was
have. I think what's like the main factor was I have a twin brother, so we also do like crazy stuff like backflips and front flips and just running around in like little Slovenian farmers towns, and just I think that was a big contributor just to develop like kind of awareness of my body a lot.
Yeah, cool. Does your brother play? Has he ever played?
He tried once, but
Not
he
his thing.
loves climbing too much to just quit it.
Okay, so tell me about your family life. You mentioned farm life a little bit, but like, what is your town? Is it a town? Is it a city? Nova Gorica?
Wow. We call it a city, but it has 14,000 people, 15 maybe.
Okay, yeah,
So
small
you
city,
can.
big town,
I
yeah.
think you can call it a town. Yeah, I don't know. I told them to this Canadians, and they laughed at me. So we'll see. I mean, Toronto has bigger population than Canada, so than
Then
Slovenia.
Slovenia, yeah,
Yeah,
right,
so
okay.
that's like Um, but I grew up there, but my whole family. I mean,
What was it legit on a farm? Were you like you grew up on a farm? No,
I
like
didn't grow
kind
up
of
on a farm, but I
country.
spent a lot of times on a farm with my grandparents. Yeah, they do live in a farm, so we were chasing and running around then.
Nice. Okay, talk to me about CrossFit now. What? No. So all this happened. 2019 came around. You were awesome. 2020 hit. COVID happened. Everybody came back from COVID, and Aurora Lesnik disappeared. She was gone. What the hell happened to you? Everybody was worried. Well, maybe everybody, but I mean me. I was like, where's that Lesnik? She was awesome, and she's gone. Because, yeah. Well, go on. Tell me.
Oh, yeah, because no, I love
Well, so I heard like, okay, you had moved to the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And I still remember Ben Ort telling me, yeah, Aurora Lesnik's going to play Groot this year in the mixed year prior to this season, their last mixed season. And I was like, oh, that's exciting news. There was also like an Alicia Tizik rumor that year, and neither of you popped onto the roster. And I was like, oh, but what's going on? So, yeah, so now that you know what I've heard, what really happened in that time? Like, I guess during COVID, what brought you from Slovenia to the Netherlands? Why didn't you play that year? And and that should do it.
Well, like my explanation is just not dramatic at all. I think it was just like I just separated ways with sports, just very naturally. So I went to the Netherlands to study physiotherapy, and it's like in a smaller town, Enschede, which is still 2 hours away from Amsterdam. And yeah, there was COVID at that time, like COVID peaking, so there was not much opportunity to play for sure. And yeah, I also like try to do there with the team there, but I wasn't quite satisfied with the team that was there. I mean, there are good people and everywhere, but the level was a little bit lower, so I was like a little bit demotivated that time. But I still trained on my own and stuff like that. But then I went to this CrossFit gym because I wanted like a spacious gym to do my stuff, more explosive, more whatever. So you need quite a lot of space for that. I went to this CrossFit gym, and yeah, they noticed me. They hooked me up. I started CrossFit. I started coaching CrossFit, and all of a sudden, like Ultimate wasn't there in my life anymore. So yeah, I just kind of quit, and I didn't think I would come back, honestly. But here I am in Toronto.
So you turned into a total fucking weapon in CrossFit. I mean, your body changed. You've got muscles on muscles now. You look great. But you totally, yeah. I mean, it was a very evident transition. I didn't know you coached CrossFit too. That's pretty cool. But then so you did come back some way somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the door back into Ultimate? And I mean, does that mean you've been less CrossFit, or are you managing both? So a couple questions there for you to work with.
Yeah, that's a tough question. Well, how I came back is just like my friend. I still stayed good friends with like my Slovenian teammates, and two of them went to Windmill to play, and that's closer for me to like meet up with them than to come to Slovenia. So I was like, yo, basically, I'm gonna come and check you out on Sunday, blah blah. And yeah, it was a mistake. No, it was a mistake. It was actually a good thing. But I just came there, and I watched like finals Germany. I think it was Goethe at that time, last year basically. and I was just like, fuck, excuse my French. I was like, damn, like, what am I missing out? Like, I wasn't even in contact with Frisbee, so everything was fine. But then I meet people, and I was like, I'm missing out on so much. And since then, I was just like texting everyone, like, oh, can we get some throws in? Where, like, when can we practice? And yeah, and since then it's history. So it's been like a year now that I'm back, even more. So
Okay,
yeah.
so you say, and so the balance?
Oh, the balance?
Did you ditch CrossFit now, or do you do both?
Yeah, well, now I'm ditching it because like a month and a half, I'm just like back and forth, back and forth. But basically, no, I haven't ditched it at all. So yeah, sometimes I would have 2 training sessions, I guess. But yeah, I'm still into CrossFit. I think less though.
Okay, I mean, it's got to be a little bit less. I don't think you
Yeah,
can do
it is less. It is less for
100%
sure.
of both. Tell me about like benefits of CrossFit as a cross training for Ultimate. You know, you're a stronger woman out there. You know,
Amen.
obviously there's benefits of strength on the field, but talk about yourself as a player before CrossFit and yourself as a player now, after, and with CrossFit.
Oh well. Yeah, I'm a bigger girl, bigger target. No, I don't know. But I think I'm just like more durable, more athletic for sure. What I've noticed, I'm more like explosive, as in consequence, I guess, of all those Olympic lifts. But yeah, it was so long ago, like coming back, that I don't know. Yeah, my throws have gone longer because I'm stronger. So I can, yeah, shoot longer. I can yank it longer. Other
Okay.
things, I don't know. I think I'm slower though. I do
Yeah.
slower. Yeah.
Yeah, carrying
I
a bit more
have to work
muscle.
on that because I'm getting slow.
Yeah, but I don't believe that really coming from me. But you'll always beat me in a race. But
Yeah.
so talk about your what is your training then this year? So you live what, an hour, 2 hours away from Amsterdam?
Yeah.
You go in once or twice a week to Amsterdam to train?
No.
So you just go for training camps and tournaments.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you do on your own to train for Ultimate? Like, what, do you throw it at the wall?
Yeah. So in the Netherlands we have like good field, so you can always go to the field and throw. So basically, yeah, I just have a stack of discs and throw it. Sometimes I do some drills. That's for Frisbee, right? I have like one throwing partner, so that's very useful for me.
Okay, that is.
Yeah.
Somebody from Groot, or just another Ultimate player in the city?
Yeah, ultimate player for my town. So
Okay.
that's basically it. And yeah, otherwise I just maintain with CrossFit. And I work in this gym, so I have also off hours. It's super big, so I can just actually practice ultimates with like Frisbee and jumping and stuff also in the off hours in my CrossFit gym because it's super huge. So yeah.
Nice.
I have a lot of options.
Good. Little question I ask everybody: you wear number 68? Is that you wear that on every team you play with?
Since I came back, I'm 68.
What were you? What were you prior? What were you
15.
before? And any significance to either of those numbers for you?
I guess. So 15 was my brother and my dad always wore 15 on my, like, for basketball. So I was always wanted 14, but then my first juniors year, someone wore 14. So I was like, yeah, let's do 15.
I just figured out I know 68. We had this conversation in Belgium.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But 68.
Both your parents are born in that year.
Yeah. So that's 68. Yeah.
Okay, yes. And you have a 1968 tattoo.
Yeah.
Do you remember the conversation?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good.
I do.
It was after the party. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about this season then. We'll talk about the season that's happened and then the season ahead. But okay, so you guys just dominated nationals. You said at the top you were a little bit surprised by it. I think everyone was surprised by how dominant Groot was. You know, like I think everybody knew you would be good. We saw you at Windmill play a great final. But this was next level stuff. Talk about your teammates. Talk about the core of that team. Talk about like how it gelled. Maybe your coaches, but just give us a little bit of a synopsis of how you guys just absolutely dominated at European
that's a
Championships.
secret. That's a secret.
Get out of here, Lesnik.
I think everyone was surprised by it. I think the beauty of it is also that we're like a new team, so no one knows what is expected from us, and no one knows how we play and what we play. And we just had a few videos that some people could watch. So we were fairly new team. So that was definitely an advantage of us. And I think we have very, very strong defensive line. That can transition like discs very fast into breakpoints. So that's, I think, what clicked on this tournament was the defense. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's good. That's enough. It was, I think, for a lot of people, we were very happy to see Moon Cup play a huge semi, but I think a lot of people wanted to see that rematch as well against Jinx.
We were super happy.
I imagine you guys would have prepared a lot to be playing Jinx.
Super happy for Moonby. We like Jinx left us with such a bitter taste in our mouth. We're also a bit like, damn. Like, we really wanted it, so... But maybe next year or something.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe some revenge was on the cards, but maybe
we wanted
next
it
year.
Really bad, yeah.
The gold medal is
it's okay.
It's pretty sweet as well.
Yeah.
So how did Toronto happen? You are part of the Sixers. I saw that about a month before EUCF, maybe. I saw your name on a roster. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Obviously, very good idea for Toronto, but how did this come together?
Well, I was like on a tournament in Italy, just like randomly chilling, partying, and like one of my teammates, Flora, she also played for Sixers, so she texted me like, "Yo, they want to like to talk to you about you potentially playing with Sixers. Can you like message the captains?" So I did. And then we like started talking what are like the possibilities, and like the team I saw like on Instagram, they're super great, like super sweet, just best girls. And then we just kind of came to the conclusion that based on my season, I could probably play the regionals and now the nationals, and also come to Toronto to like a little bit practice with them. So yeah, here I am.
And so how did you, I mean, I guess, explain more how you made this work. How long are you in Toronto for? You got out of, you're a physio now in the Netherlands, or are you still studying?
I just graduated this year.
Okay, so you're in a bit of limbo.
This year is like a gap year, so it's perfect.
Okay, and so how long are you going to be in Toronto for in total?
2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, so it's from what, a couple days ago until
my
nationals, and then you go to San Diego.
Yeah, no, I'm going to World Beach, and then I'm going to San Diego.
You're coming to Portugal and then going back. Who are you playing Portugal with?
Margarita mixed.
Oh, they should be right. I didn't realize you had an Irish passport too.
I do. So does Carmen. And Martina. And
yes, Kmetsova too. Why wasn't she at? Why wasn't she? Man, we'll get to.
UCF?
We don't need to.
I don't know, but good thing.
Good question. Yeah, I guess so. For good. So you've played now regionals with Sixers.
Yeah, I did.
And you've been to a couple of training sessions with them. What's your setup? Where are you staying in Toronto? Are you billeted? Are you staying with one of the players?
Yeah, so I'm staying. First, I stayed with Crystal, with the captain, and now I'm staying with the coach, Jordo. So I'm just switching back and forth.
Okay, bouncing around.
But they treat me so good. I can't.
Nice. And do you like Toronto? It's my city.
Yeah, I like it. I haven't managed to explore it yet, but I will.
Okay, I still have to give you some food recommendations. You got to go to Maddie's Patties on Queen Street. The best Maddie Matheson's hamburger joint is very worth going. Anyways. back to you. Okay, so if you had to bet on it, who would win between Groot or Sixers?
No. I knew this question was gonna come up. No.
Really? You can't answer
Yeah,
it?
either is this or who do you enjoy playing most? Like, this is not.
Who do you enjoy
Well,
playing most?
let me wait until national comes up.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you really you think I'm gonna hold my breath, expecting I'm gonna get an answer in 2 weeks
No,
after
you
this
won't.
interview's
You
over?
won't.
Yeah, I know. It'd be a good game, though. Is all I know.
I
still
think so.
think
I
the
would
North
really love to
Americans
see it, but I
probably
would love
have
to
an
hear.
advantage. You know, because I thought Germany was so good. German women, they dominated in Europe, and then they went to Worlds, and you saw the
Yeah.
North Americans are still a bit stronger. And I still think I get that sense from club, but I'd love to see it happen. I would love to see it happen.
True.
And this was, like we said, a super dominant performance by Great Tech clubs. Okay, talking about Slovenia, when you started, and you said you were just recently there. Like, is Slovenian Ultimate on the up? Is it something that is growing, improving? Is it kind of flatlined? Where's Slovenian Ultimate?
Well, it's definitely not where it's supposed to be. I think when Corona hit, and we had this big generation, it was 2001 and 2000, so my generation, and we all kind of spread out to study. So then it kind of sank. Now it's growing back, actually. Slovenska Bistrica, Rubber Duckies. I don't know if you heard of it. They started growing. They have quite a big youth program for Slovenia. So respect on that. But so far, yeah, it's not thriving. But I wish it will be someday.
Do you see yourself playing for Slovenia again for an EUC or maybe even a Worlds? Whoever knows? Do you think that's something that might happen?
Well,
like, I know Slovenia wasn't at this last year's EUC, or were they? Yes, they were.
They were, but they came
Yeah,
last.
they were. Okay. Do you see yourself ever putting on the national jersey again? Do you think that's something that?
Well, I would love to. I still have the pride to do so. But the numbers are pretty low, so I think we can. I hope we can manage to create a team. But I'm also eligible to play with the Dutch national team, so we'll see about that.
You are eligible to play Dutch.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. So how long have you lived there now?
For 3 years.
3 years.
On and off.
And you plan on staying? This is your gap year? So what happens with Aurora Lesnik after this year?
I don't know. Don't ask me that question.
One day at a time?
Sorry?
One day at a time.
One day at a time, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't plan to be in Canada right now, so
okay.
I'm very spontaneous at the moment.
That's good. That's exciting. So you're going to, I can't believe you're going to Portugal, and then we'll have what, like 4 days before you got to be in San Diego to play?
Yeah. 3 days.
3 days. Yeah. You got a pretty full plate, and then you got to come back and come to the beach in Lanzarote too. So exciting!
Yeah, let's go.
How well do you know female matching players in the world? If I want to get your opinion on who's the best in some countries, or your idea of the best is.
You can try me, but here in Toronto they have been very disappointed.
Okay.
My knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Well, then let's start with Canada. If you had to pick one Canadian female matching player, who's the best woman in Canada?
I cannot. No.
Why not?
The Sixers power line.
No, you got to pick one. You got to pick somebody. If you had to play 2-on-2, who would be your teammate?
2-on-2?
Yeah.
Oh shit. This is no. Can I pick 3?
I'll let you pick 2.
I can pick 2.
Yeah.
I will pick Sarah, and I think I'll pick Britt.
DeSantos and Jakobsen.
Yeah.
Jacobs or Jacobs or Jakobsen? Jakobsen. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Okay, what about this one's going to be tough for you too then. Best Dutch player.
Oh, don't do me like that.
We'll get the tough ones out of the way early. Then it should get easier.
Dutch player. Oh, man.
But you know what you're doing here? You're picking your favorite. You're picking your favorite, but you have to be subjective here. Who is the best?
Yeah, the best. Okay, let me think. Best player. I would. Okay, I'm looking as a handler, so I can pass the cutters, right? Is it 2?
No, it should be 1.
Oh,
You're trying to change the whole nature of the game here, Aurora.
that's like you're creating some tension. That's not fair. Do you ask other people that question as well?
Yeah, I did. I asked not everybody, but Connor McHale did it. Connor McHale gave me a answer for these.
Okay. Oh shit! Can I get 2?
Do you want me to go to different countries first and come back to the Netherlands?
Yeah, please.
Okay, this one I think you're gonna have an immediate answer. Italy. Who's the best Italian female matching players?
Carmen!
Okay, Carmen Lagala. I told you, easy, quick. Irish.
Oh man, I will choose Fiona.
Fiona Myrna, your teammate
Yeah, my teammate.
in the Netherlands. Very sound choice.
Oh, are we choosing only women, right?
Yeah, women.
Okay.
What about French? Who's the best French female matching player?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'll choose Ava.
It's a very sound choice as well. A lot of youngsters coming up, but those Borno sisters are unstoppable.
I never played with her, but she apparently played with Sixers, so.
Yes.
They have.
Ava Borno played Sixers?
Yeah. Last year.
Some of these things go under the radar. Okay.
More you know.
Do you know?
The more you know.
Yes. Now I'm getting an information upload here from Aurora.
Yeah.
What about Australians? Do you know many Australians?
Oh man. Yeah, I know Ava Mueller, but she's also German, but I'll choose her for both.
Okay. You would choose Ava Mueller as the best German player?
Or maybe Australian? Yeah.
Australian, okay, I'll give you that. Kat Phillips is a pretty good choice over there too.
But, True.
But okay, now Germany. If you've given Australia to Ava, is she still gonna win? Is she still gonna win Germany?
That'll be tough. I think I would choose Garner. She's crazy. I marked her. I played man with her, and she just gave me every time. She's insane.
She is insane. She has all the tools. She can do it all. Throws, speed, layout, D in the air. She's good. What about Belgian players? You think of Moon Cup, and there's a lot of non-Belgians on that team, but there are plenty of good Belgians. Who do you think's the best? Or maybe somebody from Jet Set, or maybe somebody from Woof. I don't know. Do you have a top Belgian female player?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
No.
And then, I mean, the last two will go UK, GB.
I think she lives there now, Molly Wedge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. She's Canadian, of course.
I know.
But she can definitely be classified as UK and American, which some would say, oh, the best player in the world, but I disagree.
Yeah. I mean, they are, but they're not. We have to join forces with Europe to
knock them out. Yeah. Maybe a super team rendition this year can knock off USA.
Oh, American. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't pay attention that much.
Do you watch much Ultimate?
Do I watch Ultimate? Yeah, I do. But
okay.
Yeah, I don't think I watch like a 24/7 like
right.
this,
You don't totally nerd out on it.
No, I do have a subscription, so
okay.
Maybe I'm close. But I think Angela Zhu is very good. Let me see. Is there anyone else? When I was very little, I really liked Opie Payne. I don't know where she is now, but she was my idol.
She was on Fury last year. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know. Where
she may still well be on that roster, but maybe she's retired.
What she's
but
doing,
very good choice. She's amazing.
But now
And then if you had to pick Valeria or Manuela, who do you take?
I don't know. I think Valeria has like more similar game style than me, but I don't know. Or like Manuela is also very like throwing her body everywhere.
I think Manuela's
Manuela
more like you
has more,
chucking her body around the way you do.
Well, I don't know. I really
Okay.
don't know.
We won't make you choose. It's all right. It's good to have the chat
I won't
anyways.
make you choose, except like the last 100 questions. It's okay.
Well, now that I've got all that out of you, we'll ease up for the last question, so that we can finish off comfortably. You know what I mean?
Okay. Let's see.
But I think that's about all I've got for you. Anything? Any questions on your end? Anything you want to add? Can you tell us about your tattoo? Can you tell us about your tattoo?
Which one?
Well, it's like mostly your left arm. Seems like it's
Mostly
like many have turned into one.
Yeah, and it turned into one. Well, so you see this one, right?
Yeah, that's your dragon.
It just looks very cool. And then
when is that your first one?
No, my first one's this one. Ugh, this one. It's like it's like yin yang with wolves.
Okay.
It just looks very cool. This one just looks very nice.
Oh, yeah, like a fire 8-ball, a flaming
it's like an
8-ball.
Yeah, and I have a lot of tattoos that just look very nice.
Nice.
They
how old were you when you got your first tattoo?
16.
16. Did mom and dad approve?
Yeah, my mom signed it.
Ah, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. You have cool folks.
She's an angel guy.
Nice. And do you have, what's your next tattoo? Do you have an idea for the next one yet?
No, but I'm talking with my friend that I'm going to get one in Lisbon just for fun.
After...
Yeah.
I could come with you for that.
Let's go.
I got some ideas. I'm definitely going to Lisbon the day after.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well, we can discuss more there.
Yeah, let's go.
Listen, Aurora Lesnik, absolute legend, freshly crowned European champion, ready to just keep swinging the bat. She's got U.S. nationals playing with Sixers coming up. She's coming back to Portugal to play world championships with mixed margarita mixed from Ireland. She's getting on a plane to play on one of my super teams, the ULTI.TV team in Lanzarote. So you've got a busy year still ahead of you, but you've had an incredible season. I think everybody's very happy to see you back where you belong, playing Ultimate. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's been interesting. No, it's been very fun.
Interesting as it is. Thanks again to Aurora Lesnik. I'm going to go back to Noah and bring you some more action from what's going on around the traps in the Ultimate scene right now.
Okay. Take care.
Thanks, Aurora Lesnik. That's so wonderful to get Aurora's insights. I'm back with Noah, and as per usual, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's happening in and around our wonderful sport. Because there's a lot in and around right now, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to try and move at a scorching pace today, just because we got lots to get out, and we want to keep you alive and engaged. So we're going to start with the EUCF that just happened in Ostend, Belgium. It was a biblically horrible first day of weather. We had a camera go down. It was, people got sick. There was drenched everything everywhere. And the Ultimate, it suffered a little bit as well. There was a lot of Huck and D played on day one. A lot of results that kind of put a few teams in pretty sticky positions moving forward. We saw Clapham lose to Quixotes on day one in this horrible, they had a big lead, and Quixotes put on his own and scored 6-7 in a row to beat Clapham on day one. So it was a wild day one. Any other day one stuff of mention, either results or regular nonsense that was going on? Because there's a whole lot of nonsense.
There was a lot of nonsense. I think a bit of nonsense I'd love to mention, something truly biblical, was the state of the hotel corridor on the way back on day one. Just so everyone, like someone had the idea of leaving their boots outside outside their door. Great idea. It doesn't get your room all stinky. But 100 Ultimate players leaving 2 or 3 pairs of cleats down every single room of this hotel.
Yeah,
Oh my word! The smell the
and
next morning.
this
Oh my
happens
god,
every
Steph.
tournament to some end, Noah, where it does make sense. Leave your stuff outside. The hotel usually gets pretty pissed and says no more cleats in the hallway. This hotel was one of the most diminutively sized hotels I've ever seen. There was no room for anything, so that there was nothing they could say. You had wet jerseys, wet socks, wet shoes. There was nowhere to hang them up in your room. So of course it was like gas mask worthy walking in and out of the hotel after day one. It smelled horrible.
It
And
just got worse and
this is
worse.
the
Like
inside
day
stuff
3
that
morning.
we got to put up with. Yeah, day 3 was
Terrible.
a horrendous morning. It was very happy that was the last of it on our way to finals day. So let's go division by division. Let's talk about the top end here. Let's talk about winners and grinners. Start in the mixed division. It was the best final. It was the first final.
Once again, has been for
you
a while.
want to start us off there?
Yeah,
Huh?
Deep Space gets back to the final after a big 2023, despite losing key player Axel Amala, among a few others. And they come against Tiefenschaffer, which is the sort of
Not quite.
upstart. Yeah, hit me, Steph.
Now I better get it right. Tiefseetaucher.
Tiefseetasche-ish.
Yeah.
Which is the sort of upstart Munich team, didn't have massive expectations of making it to a European Championship until they started beating everyone throughout the season. Kind of some muck people, making a mixed team, and also very strong like women's side there. Players like the German, Italian crossover from Lorenzo Pavan and World Game star Torben Hornschmeyer.
Saskia Beck.
So,
Linia Siebert. They
yeah, so
were Dennis Holzer. They're very, very good. I mean, as you said, like they came out of nowhere. Okay, they put their plan together. They put all their marbles in the mix. They dominated the season. They were the number 1 seed going in.
yeah,
and then didn't lose a game going into the finals.
and maybe they did have the best top end of the division. It kind of felt like that in the final, that their O-line was kind of stronger than Deep Space's O-line, maybe not quite replicating how bulletproof they were last year, but the Deep Space D-line to me looked a little bit better and a bit more likely to cause problems as well. The Deep Space O-line managed to
Kate
hang
Gibson,
on.
Ian Tate, very good good D-liners for Deep Space this year. They deserve a call out for their work.
Yeah, it was like seriously impressive. Deep Space like definitely added so much depth this year. Lots of national team players added to the fold. And players also getting better, like Max Squires moving over to the O-line, but he put up a great performance to be in the final. Jack Halkyard, new import, got a few goals, few assists, beautiful towing on the back line. He was a massive player in the final. Layla Denniston had a great game, as she always tends to do.
I thought Alana Archer was really good, played great
really,
deep,
really
pulled
good.
really well. So good, we're going to put her in the commentary booth.
Rachel Naden as the deep threat, like as she very commonly is, played a great game, and it was kind of that they couldn't quite get the breakaway from Tiefshe Natasha, and until right at the end where they were sort of dragging back to like even. So Universe Point, Deep Space were on D, if I'm correct, right? And it was a break on Universe to win them their second.
Was it a
European
multi-turn
title.
or a single turn? I think it was a multi-turn Universe Point.
Yeah, I think
if I recall correctly.
Halkyard hucked one away, kind of up into the end zone, and yeah, I think that Teef had 2 turns on the second possession.
That is right. Yeah, I mean, to that end, it's Deep Space bent but didn't break as far as their overall game metal and structure went, but you could kind of say TFC Tau had chumped it just a bit. They had chances to win that game, to put them away. Couldn't get it done. Easier to say as a spectator. It was a great game is really what it was. But Deep Space stayed in it right till the end and kind of outlasted TFC Tau. That's probably the more politically correct way to surmise what happened there.
I think if that game were hypothetically to 25, I'd feel very confident that Deep Space would go and win it by 3 or 4. The momentum was in that direction. They had more depth. They had more energy at the end of the game. But it was a final that
1980s now to playing games at 25.
I know it'll be a crazy one, but yeah, I think they deserved it in the end, and it really was a great display, a great finale to this first European season with the algorithm and the ranking. To have a team who was the very best, who got to play all of the elite opportunities, versus a team getting in through the algorithm and all of the spring and summer tours to battle against each other.
Can't ask for much more than that. Defending champs versus number one seeds going down to Universe Point. We got it all. That was the first final, first cab off the rank. Then we moved into the open final. And that one was a classic matchup, which gave us the top 2 seeds going in, the perennial champs, the team that's been in the final 11 years in a row, Clapham from London, taking on Mooncatchers, the team that has been better, the top seed, the shinier roster, but has led people to have some doubts because of some of their national team mishandlings and their inability to have gotten it done last year and to really get beat up in the final by Clapham last year. So this was a rematch of last year's final. Of course, Clapham beat them, I think, to the tune of 15-7 the year prior. So there was a lot of doubt. The one thing I'll say before we do get into the game breakdown is the route in from the semis. I'm calling Bologna, they're going to hate me for it, but the loser's stick now, because whoever gets hit with the loser's stick ends up losing. And Bologna has, fought hard against Clapham before Ranelagh beat them, fought hard against Mooncatchers before Clapham beat them. And this year, who got Bologna in the semis? It was Clapham. That was an instant classic. Went to Universe Point. Clapham won, and then that sets up the final, Moon versus Clapham, Noah.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams don't have a absolute bulletproof pedigree of performing in the big games. I think Moon's performance was a little bit disappointing last year after that difficult semi. Clapham have lost a few more EUCFs than they have in the decade gone past. So none of these teams were a lock. Both teams look pretty good. I think Moon probably looked the better team at the start of the tournament, and as they went out, I think Moon's D-line was seriously impressive. Tom Blasman, who has had some doubters this season, had a fantastic final. Other D-liners, Matthew Muller had an awesome final, and they really managed to put some doubts into Clapham far up early on in possessions. There was a nasty turnover about 2 or 3-1 on a centering pass, which was a super easy score for Moon. And Clapham just couldn't hold on to the disc and progress it, especially the more sort of upwind direction. And Moon would convert pretty nice and steadily. It was a really nice early lead for Moon, and made their offense really not have to work that hard. So I think 4 or 5 completely clean holds, no turns for the Moon O-line, going to half 8-5 stuff.
Yeah, took half, and as much as there was no looking back, Clapham showed a little bit of a pulse in the second half. They started holding. They got a pair of breaks sequentially and scored 3 in a row in the second half, but the damage was done. Moon were not to be denied. Their O-line, okay, they faltered this one little bit, but then right back on track. You look at that O-line, and you talked about the D stalwarts, but when you got Dan Demarais and Sofiane Bontemps and Arvids Karklint rolling with Ben Ort, I mean, they are just so deep and so tidy and so good. I talked to Connor McHale after the game, and he's like, listen, like, we thought we had him. We were still confident, but that team is too good to, not win a title. They're going to get one this year. They put it together way better than us in the final. When going into the game, we didn't think we were any more tired from our semi than they might have been. They played after us. They stayed up later than us. We thought we were in form. We thought we were fine, but we just got outplayed from top to bottom of that game, and that's the truth of the matter.
And a few more key players returning off a fella after an injury. He's been back about a month now. Solid handler. Had Paul Arthurs cross the Atlantic and made a great impact on the O-line. And Tom's Abultinch, kind of big leadership figure, even though he's thought of as the Latvian import. Moon are now kind of saying that those Latvians, Arvids and Abultinch, are as much a part of the team as any other Belgian player. And Artis is surely a pickup, but this team is
Artis still played WUCC with them.
Is he in for 2026?
No, but he was for 2022.
For 2022.
He's been around. He is a pickup, but he's still getting regular tournament rotation with them.
Agree, and he was like at Elite, right, and at Windmill, not playing, but at they put the reps. No,
he played at Windmill.
He played at Windmill as well. Okay,
yeah.
So look, that team's put the reps in. They put a lot of effort in. I think even though they did manage to go Belgium to the World Championship, Europeans was the goal, and they have succeeded there. And Clapham will have to try again next year and rebuild. And look, like the classic Clapham story of when is the youth coming over? And I'm sorry, Conrad and Connor don't count. They're in their early 30s, late 20s. Where are the Moon age players who are as good as the Moon players? It needs to come at some point. Otherwise, this Clapham dynasty is going to be just one of the teams that could win every year, not the team that should win. I think people are still writing them as the favorite. Some people are still writing them as the favorite this year. Should we move on to the women's division?
But you're just one last thing. You're right. They got to find the youth because I think they are poised to fall like dominoes if one player retires. If Justin goes, there goes Ollie, there goes Ben Funk. They're gonna all be, there goes Mum. They could all you could easily have 1 year where 6 players leave, and then where are they? So I hope you're right. I hope we see a little bit of Clapham.
Those players are still all so important. Justin is one of the best players on our team, still one of the best players in the UK, one of the best players in Europe. OG had played one of the best games I've seen him play in the last 3 years in that final.
He was
didn't
awesome.
Come at the same time as everyone else on his team. He was unbelievable. It's going to be a real shame when we lose these players.
We hope they stick around forever, but we also hope that they plan for that and start integrating a few more youngsters. What in Sam Hill is going on? When are we going to see Sam Hill out there? Let's talk about the women's final. The most surprising for a few reasons. 1, because of dominance. 2, because Jinx wasn't in it. And I think going into this tournament, there were not a lot of people who did not pick Jinx to be in the final, at least, if not to win this thing.
Okay, but I think that it's even more surprising that Kuss Shout aren't in it. How many years have they won now, Steph? 5, 6 years in a row of winning? I think that was the even more surprising thing.
It's not 5, 6. But
they won since 2018, no?
Was that the last time that Yaka won? And then ever since it's been... No. Yaka won in that was Kaorle. Oh, yeah, that was when Cosmic Girls were still around. That was 2019, maybe. Yeah, it's been a while. And then one-off. So I think it's still 3 in a row. Anyways.
Okay, but that Kuss Shout team is still good.
Yes.
They did have Scazzieri back. They had... Casarini looks absolutely unbelievable. Bengi's great. It's an amazing team. It's just this crit team came together, Steph, and they looked unbelievable.
They dispatched people left. They were dispatching teams left, right, and center. Just handily 6-1 on Shout in the semi to start the things off.
Ugh.
We go back to the quarter 14-0 before Troubles could put 1 point on the board and make it 15-1. Like, that's a quarterfinal at Europeans. And this is just, I mean, Groot were just, they could not be stopped. You could tell right from day one in like the poor weather that it was okay. This is Groot's tournament now. And so I still put Jinx ahead in the conversation because of their dominance this season. They made the adjustments that Bologna didn't. I love Ava Muller on that team, but like if you look at last year, their add-ons with Martina Kmetsova, Charlotta Schall, Lasma Kublitska, there was one other. They always carried 4. Their add-ons this year didn't stack up to what they had last year. They were not the same caliber of external players, whereby Jinx going to get Levka and Ortiz at Tenerife, Melvin out of Ireland, amongst others, having Ian, not Ian French. Yeah, Ian French is the coach as the bench boss. Like they took more steps to strengthen themselves than Shout did, and it showed all year long. They were winning all year long. They had that cracker final against Groot at Windmill, and I think like that was like, whoa, Groot played out of their mind to be able to stand up to Jinx. But then, Elite Invite was Jinx dominating or, really winning soundly. For me, I hear what you're saying with Shout, but this season kind of spelled it out a bit different. But to see that as the bronze medal game before everything got started, Jinx beating Shout was like, whoa, these were the two. A lot of people expected them to be 1-2, expected them to be in the final.
And let's talk about this final, Steph. The 1-2, we had who from the start of EUCF looked like a great team to win. And then kind of a surprise entrant into the final, we had Moon Cup. And they had a pickup player in Carmen Lagala who was absolutely fantastic in the final, put up crazy stats early, even when the rest of Moon Cup wasn't quite working around her. We had both Bornos out there. Maman Leduc, I think that's her name.
Leduc, yeah.
She made an absolutely insane layout Callahan in the final. Also of coaching from Nederland Crete of Super Team of Fame. So, this is a team with star pedigree, but not quite the depth that Crete had, quite perhaps.
I think that's exactly right. They had the top end, and I think they played out of their mind to knock Jinx out. I was so surprised with that result. And I think they were able to do, they shortened their roster in the semi to get away with that. They had a lot of Borno to La Gala, to Julia Harris. We were talking about why Harris was playing upfield so much on the sideline, Liam and I. And I think that the rest of their roster, they have a lot of players that are very sit back handler based, to Hasp, Belper. They need some of these players who could be handling and first cutting to get upfield and stretch out. So they just didn't have the personnel to put it together. And then in the final, they didn't have the legs either. I think it was only 13-10 and a great second half. You talked about the Leduc Callahan, the Leduc Leo Block in the second half. They got a bit of momentum, but I don't think the score reflected. Like, Groot still dominated. There was never a point in the game where I believed there was going to be anything but a Groot victory. Big ups to Moon Cup for not giving up, but as much as they threw at them, and I see you rolling your eyes, but as much as they threw at them, Groot just, okay, yeah, we weren't perfect this time, but then they go back out, put their O-line out. Floor Coulart could not be defended all game long. But what really does it for me for Groot is they get the double shutdown on defense. Like, they can put Lesnik on one, Dam on the other, and the whole rest of that line is very good, but those two can shut out your two best players on the opposing team, and they did. And I think in the second half, when Moon Cup came back, they were using a little bit more of their roster than they did in the first half. And then as soon as they felt the threat, they shortened it and won the game again. But they, to me, were just untouchable and like the most dominant victory we saw. I think their victory was more dominant than Moon's in the Open division.
I would contest that. I did think there was a moment where Moon Cup, they played it. They started getting some momentum, but I think Krut were trying to like play a bit more clean style of ultimate, and I think they're at their best when they're pucking basically, and that's what I love so much about their D line. As you said, the big matchup threats of Lesnik and Dam, but also they make you work for every single O-line possession because they never give it up cheap. Because I mean, Aurora is going to bang it down the field like 85% of the time, and they're unbelievably good in the air. And then it's a couple more passes to convert the break, right? And sometimes they turn it on the big shot, but then the other team's got to work 55 meters up the field. It was windy conditions at UCF, and that really suited Krut. So
and they got to work it up the field against that same stingy defense that already took it away from them once.
It was like, yeah, there was possessions where early in the game it went 6 or 7 possessions deep, but Krut always looked like they were going to break because Krut were just, the offense were playing in their own end zone. So it was just a matter of time, really. Krut, unbelievable. I think that if they hold all that together, they're going to be difficult to beat. I think maybe in like pristine Italian fields, Shout might come back and give them a better game. Or,
I don't think it's totally wiped for the future, but they are looking good moving forward. I think Moon, as a program, definitely stood up and performed on home field. They threw their party on the Sunday night. They were all very happy for a gold and a silver medal. Maybe you could see that out of Groot if their top boys played home team and didn't jump over to Moon. If Ort and Blastman stayed with Groot, who knows how good they could or should or would have been. That's left to speculation. But that conversation I had and overheard at the party on the Sunday night. So EUCF, a great tournament in the end after most people were ready to just cash in their chips after Friday. It all worked out. It was a great tournament.
It was fantastic.
You know what? Let's talk a little bit about Worlds.
Steph, do you mind?
I think everybody...
We've gone pretty long. I think we might have to save Worlds for the patron-only section of the podcast. Do you cool with that, Steph? We have a recap there.
Okay, we're going to stop and start, and we'll be right back. If you're a patron to find out about Worlds, you better be a patron. I mean, you don't better be, but you should be.